Hello and welcome to Ryno's Orioles Report. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. The Orioles are, I know it's early, they're way below 500 for early in the year. A lot of bad decisions. I feel like it's coming out more and more. Bad decisions on who's being a cutoff man for an outfielder, where to throw balls, whether they take, let's say, some drying agent for your mound when it's raining. Of course, it was cold too, so what do you do there? Bad execution too, I guess. That's more what it is. Maybe a little bit of bad luck, I guess. You can see them on massinsports.com. Let's get to game one. Friday's game, Baltimore Orioles 2, Kansas City Royals 8. Game was relatively close for the most part. Orioles did give one up in the first, but then got two in their part of the second. And even giving up two in the fourth, the game's relatively close until the eighth inning, and the Royals broke it open on, bad decisions. Henderson back in the lineup, yes. Back with the team. Dylan Carlson being sent down to AAA. Norfolk does put the outfielders in a bit of a bind. You still have Cowser out, so wasn't Kerstad that went away. So as far as your best defensive outfielders would be Mullins, Laureano, and O'Neill, with Kerstad on the bench. Not great when you have so many more infielders, though. There is one infielder that's going to be playing the outfield later on in this series, and it didn't work out that well. Henderson one hit in his first trip back to the lineup. Fairly okay. I mean, he's had a lot of off time, so one hit, did strike out once. Rutschman with one hit. Westberg, 0 for. Mullins a hit and a walk. Mullins has been bouncing around this lineup, which I'm not a huge fan of. I do feel like Major League Baseball players can get in a better routine and a comfortability and can therefore perform better if they are in a more consistent, even not even just a consistent position 1 through 9, but a consistent part of the lineup. Mullins just is not getting that treatment. But he's not doing too bad. He's off to a relatively good start. As I said, hit and walk. O'Hearn, no hits, but he did walk once. O'Neill, 1 hit. Kerstad, 2 hits and an RBI. It's kind of why they didn't want to send Kerstad away, even though he is, second biggest liability in the outfield now. It's tough. That's why it's sliding into first base, like you're Austin Hayes. I feel like we had got rid of Austin Hayes, or we had taught Austin Hayes not to do dumb shit like that. Now Cowser's doing that. Mountcastle 0 for, all the way down in the bottom of the lineup now. Holiday also with an 0 for. Yeah. Seems to be a trend. You have, 2 games for the Orioles where they look like shit at the plate, and 1 game where they look good, and that's it. That's not good because you're losing series now. Cool. Whatever. Could have been 2 RBIs here for Kerstad, but the ball he hit, Hearn was able to come in, and then O'Neill coming to the plate decided not to dive or slide. Ends up getting tagged out. Would he have been safe if he dove or slid? Tough to say. The throw was offline. It did pull Salvador Perez into the foul territory side of third base's foul territory side of home plate. Somehow, as old as that man is, he reached way back across the plate and got O'Neill. Had he been sliding, maybe he would have gotten in there. But he didn't, so he was out. And the Orioles challenged and did, not win. So haven't won a challenge all year. That's awesome. Doubles by Mullins and O'Neill. Henderson with fielding error. Yep. When it rains, it pours. Except it didn't really pour in this game, and it did rain. Dean Kramer getting the start here. Not the greatest performance, but at the same time, defense did kind of let him down. As you can see, there is an unearned run here. Going 4 1/3 inning, does give up 8 hits. Gives up 3 runs, only 2 earned runs. Doesn't walk anybody, strikes 1 out. You love the no walks, but you feel like that unearned run kind of hurts you there. Gregory Soto giving some length out of the bullpen, going an inning and 2/3. Looking pretty good to the start to the year. Or, I guess, up to this point in the year. I feel like the first outing or two, he looked kind of shaky, but he's getting through them. 1 2/3 of an inning, no hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. Sir Anthony Dominguez, who also looked shaky the first few outings of his, but has been able to settle down a bit. 1 full inning, the 7th inning, no hits, no runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Cionel Perez, this is where the wheels kind of fell off here, pitching the 8th inning. Started to get a little more wet out there, and again, instead of asking for some of the drying agent on the mound, he elected not to do that. I mean, his cleats were getting muddy. You could really tell it really looked like his spikes couldn't dig into the dirt and help him push down towards the plate. Velocity suffered a bit, and maybe his accuracy as well. But, the ground crew comes out there and puts the drying agent on 10, 15 minutes-ish. He's just standing there. I guess he could do some tossing, but does he get cold himself? So what do you do there? Well, I feel like you got to ask for the drying agent, and you just need to figure out a way to keep yourself warm. Run around the bases. As far as I know, there's no rule that says what you can and can't do when there's a break in the action like that, and the grounds crew's taking 10 minutes to repair the mound. Jog around. Toss a few balls to Rutschman. Feel like it's just a better way to do it. It's just a better way to do it. And to a certain extent, defense not really helping him out at all. There was I want to call it a Bermuda Triangle ball. Let's say shallow right field towards the foul line. Mountcastle goes out for it. What's his name? Jackson Holliday goes out for it. O'Neill coming in for it. And it falls in between all three of them. Henderson's covering second base. Westberg's covering third base. It's Bobby Witt Jr. at first base running. Rutschman's at the plate. Pitcher's backing him up. Ball falls. O'Neill picks it up. It's rounding third. What do you do with the ball? You got to go home with it. You have to go home with it. Okay, there's no cutoff man. Bad job by Mountcastle. Okay. He should have checked up, realizing that he's not going to get there. Or the fact that, let's say, there's no play that Mountcastle was going to make that Jackson Holliday couldn't have made. Because Jackson Holliday was out there. He was in a better position and had a better angle on the ball than Ryan Mountcastle. There's no way Ryan Mountcastle was making a play that Jackson Holliday couldn't have made. So Mountcastle needs to check up and get back towards the infield and be some kind of middleman in between O'Neill and home plate. That didn't happen. So what does O'Neill do? Instead of coming up firing towards the plate, somebody's got to be yelling. I mean, all three of them standing around there looking at each other. Somebody's got to directing traffic out there. Either nobody was or nobody could hear him. So he tosses it to second base. Great, you hold the runner at first base. Meanwhile, you just had a bases clearing single. Wonderful. Yeah, good job defense. So Perez's line in the 8th inning, 1 full inning pitch, 3 hits, gives up 5 runs, walks 1, strikes 1 out. Yeah, that's wonderful. Whatever. Get to game 2. This is what I'm talking about. The offense looks good for 1 game out of a 3-game series. Wake the hell up. Baltimore Orioles 8, Kansas City Royals 1. Henderson leading off, DHing this time. Thought there is, well, he's just coming off the IL. You can't be going full wide open at shortstop every day, I guess. Well, yeah, it didn't look like it. In 5 at-bats, he had 4 strikeouts. He looked bad. I don't know what happened, but he didn't look that good. Westberg with 1 hit. Mullins here in the 3-hole again. He's in the 3-hole for this one too, right? No, he was cleanup in this one. 3-hole now. Again, bouncing all over the place. A hit and 2 walks. Scored twice. I mean, that's... that's pretty good. But at the same time, you got to find him a spot. You can't be bouncing all over the place. Mountcastle 2 hits. O'Neill 2 hits, 2 RBIs, walked once. Ramon Laureano pinch hitting late. Again, that to a certain extent, I think some of that is defensive replacement. Though I don't know why you wouldn't put Laureano in left field for Kjerstad. Oh, lefty-righty matchup. That's what we got to do. Well, you got lucky in this game. Laureano walks. Cool. Again, no. I feel like it's late in the game. You're up. It's whatever, man. I mean, it's whatever. Do your thing. Kjerstad a hit and an RBI. Arias hit and an RBI. Sanchez a hit and 2 RBIs. First hit with the Orioles. He also walked once. A fairly good start to the year. Not getting a whole lot of opportunities, but for the most part, he's making good on his opportunities. Seems to be, again, it's early. So far, a bit of an upgrade in the offense department over Brian McCann. Jackson Holliday in his usual bottom of the order part, right? He's the bottom of the lineup dude. 3 hits and 2 RBIs. Well, if he's going to get you that many hits and a few RBIs from the 9-hole, keep putting him in the 9-hole. It keeps working for him. I mean, O'Neill a double, O'Neill a triple, and Holliday with a triple. Yeah. Tomoyuki Sagano with his second major league start. Much better this outing. Definitely not sweating as much. And no hand cramping to be seen. Getting his first major league baseball win. He does have wins in Japan. Pitching 5 1/3 of an inning. Gives up 5 hits, 1 run. Earned run. 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Very nice. Congratulations to him. Brian Baker. There was a bit of traffic in that inning. So rather than extend Sagano, because he was up to, 89 pitches there. You don't want to push him too much. He is coming off some hand crampage. You put Baker in there, who's having a pretty good start to the year. Rolls a double play ball. What did he throw? Batters face 1. Baker, 3 pitches. There you go. That's how you do it. Keegan Aiken throwing 2 full innings here, the 7th and the 8th. No hits, no runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Very nice performance there. Matt Bowman finishing off the game. Not a save situation. Haven't had those to start the year yet. It's weird, isn't it? Pitching the full ninth inning, no hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. Win's a win. I mean, that's a fine performance. But again, by the guy that what? Wasn't making the club out of spring training. Game 3. More defensive woes in this game. Baltimore Orioles 1, Kansas City Royals 4. Big 3 spot here in the first inning. Yeah, that's what happens when you misplay a ball in center field. That's what happens when you have a very inexperienced center fielder out there in a park that's really big. Henderson leading off, over, 2 strikeouts. Huh. Okay, it's early. Not hitting the panic button yet, but I mean, Henderson's not going. The offense is kind of shaky. The defense even looks shaky. I think it's time to hit the concern button. Yep. Rutschman 1 hit. Westberg 1 hit. Tyler O'Neill over, 2 strikeouts. Ryan Mountcastle 3 hits. Ramon Laureano out there in the outfield to start the game anyway. So while you do have an inexperienced center fielder out there, you have Laureano and O'Neill to the side of it. So you got the defense out there. Why Laureano didn't start in center field? Tough to say. Of course, I mean, if Laureano's in center, O'Neill's in right, who goes to left? Mateo in left? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, that might have been better. Just because of his inexperience in the outfield. Maybe. I don't know. Over for Laureano. Gary Sanchez, DH. Well, because it's tough for the outfield, right? Because you want to get Mullins some time off. So if you don't want to use Mullins, then you only have one reserved outfielder, and that's Kjerstad. You want Kjerstad to DH? No. Kind of surprised that you went with Sanchez over, let's say, O'Hearn, but it's whatever, dude. It's whatever. You wanted a right-handed heavy lineup. That's fine. However, Sanchez over. Ramon Arias over. Did walk once. Jorge Mateo getting the start in center field. Yeah. The ball, it looked like he was going to track it, and it looked like he was there, and then it looked like he was not there. I don't know what happened. And then Bobby Witt Jr. ends up on third base. You know, I mean, if he catches that ball, then there's 2 outs. So when Pasquantino, who ended up hitting a sacrifice fly, India hit a ball to right field, and Tyler O'Neill made a nice diving catch. So then here's Witt with his ball to center field, deep center field. I mean, it's not like it was shallow; it was deep. And Mateo had to go a long way to get it. I mean, but it looked like he got there. Dude's fast as shit. Catches that, then there's 2 outs. Pasquantino flies out, then there's 3 outs. But instead, yeah, you get all the way down to Massey, who drives in too. Disappointing. Kjerstad coming in late to pinch hit for Mateo with a strikeout. Thanks, Scouser. Mountcastle with a triple. Okay. Cade Povich with the start in this game goes 6 full innings. 13 hits. He only threw 88 pitches. And it's weird that 13 hits and only gave up 4 runs. I mean, that does show maturity and growth. I mean, how many young starting pitchers could do that? Could have a 3-run first inning like that, where your defense actually did pick you up on one play, but then let you down on another play. So you got an up and down emotion there, one batter to the next batter, and you're still able to go 6 innings, and you gave up 13 hits. Yeah, I mean, that's the right decision to have Povich in the rotation. I kind of thought he should have made the rotation outright. I do feel like, who got it? Grayson Rodriguez injury is kind of what led to Povich getting into the rotation. I kind of thought he should have been there anyway. But the Orioles and Mike Elias did make some acquisitions of starting pitchers, and that was, let's say, Charlie Morton and Sagano. I still don't think they should have picked up Morton, but it's whatever. I mean, however, it's working out fine. It'll work itself out at some point. I mean, they're starting pitchers, they're going to get injured at some time, right? Sir Anthony Dominguez in relief of Povich pitching the full 7th inning. No hits, no runs. Does walk about here, but 2 strikeouts. That's good. Yanier Cano in for the 8th inning. Yeah, Cano and Bautista have not pitched much recently. A lot of rest, and it's not a good thing. Bautista has got to get in the game tonight. He has to. I mean, we were saying that yesterday, but Bautista ended up not getting in the game. Well, I feel like, that it does probably make the most sense since you used Dominguez in this game, so you got to use Bautista tonight, which means he probably won't be available Tuesday. But Dominguez, if you stay away from Dominguez tonight, then Dominguez should be available Tuesday for Tuesday's game. So should be okay, since Dominguez is probably the backup closer. I mean, at this point, Soto's doing pretty good. He does have closer experience. Cano does have closer experience. He just doesn't seem to be that comfortable in the 9th inning role. So it's probably between Soto and Dominguez. Cano in for the 8th inning, and you're on the road and you're losing, so you don't have to pitch full 9 innings, which is, it's a benefit to your bullpen. Pitching the full 8th inning, no hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. It's a shame the offense couldn't do anything, right? Because after that first inning, what did Povich give up? 1 run. You threw, the last 7 innings that you threw as a pitching staff, you gave up 1 run. And what did your offense get you? 1 run in the 7th. Could have got a third. Ryan Mountcastle on his triple. It took you 2 batters to get him in. And you had to give up an out. I mean, it's whatever, man. It's whatever. However. Let's get to a few articles here. This one written by the Masson staff. Henderson called up, means somebody had to leave. Dylan Carlson. That's why you put your outfield in a bit of a bind, because you got somewhat relatively inexperienced in there with Kjerstad, or maybe shaky defensively. In a big ballpark. Big outfield. It's a big outfield. I feel like with Henderson coming back, one of the infielders should have gone, but who was it? Holiday? Rios? Mateo? I feel like Mateo was the one that's not doing as well. No, I don't think he has any options left that they would have used him. So. Oh, shit. What was this here? This article written by... Oh, I don't have it scrolled up to the top like I want them to be. These 2 articles written by Rock Kabatko. This one on the 5th, this one on the 6th. Talking about Mateo actually making his first start in center field. I know he's been out there in center field, I guess. I can't remember. I could have sworn he started the game, but last year sometime, I guess it was. Or maybe it was the year before. But I guess he didn't end up starting the game. According to this article, it was his first start out there in center field. Ugh. Yeah, not great. Also talking about Kyle Bradish, and Kyle Bradish he's thrown already. I think there may timetable, is up in the air. I think some of us were looking towards maybe late July, mid August, which is a little later than we really would like. We would like him back a little sooner. But if he's thrown already, I mean, he could be on track for middle of the year, which puts him right about the year mark from his Tommy John surgery, which isn't too bad. He's probably a slightly above average recovery rate on there, which is, I mean, he's younger, so he's a young guy. Some guys, if you're mid-30s and you get your Tommy John surgery, take you a while. You're older, your injuries recover a little longer. It's possible. It's possible. Tyler Wells is putting a pause on his rehab because birth of a child, so then he'll come back to Baltimore, kick that off. Grayson Rodriguez throwing, still no reported setbacks. He is doing full-on bullpen sessions, so mounds are involved. I don't think mounds were involved with Bradish. It was more long tossing. I don't know what word that they use. There's a process, right? You don't just have the guy go back, ramp up his arm from whatever kind of injury. They don't just go right to a mound. They'll do a short distance, tossing the ball, getting the arm used to the motion again. Then a longer toss because it's more, what I want to say here, a little more strenuous on the arm. You got to put a little more force into the throw, more testing it there. And then you go to, let's say, what they were talking about, a short box. It's closer to the distance that you're going to be throwing your pitches. But let's say we're not doing it off the mound. And then you go to a mound and you do some bullpen sessions. Mainly because you're in the bullpen there instead of, taking up a spot on the playing field. So it's looking like Grayson Rodriguez he's moving. I mean, again, timetable, I don't know. Timetables. Whatever. Timetables. Hopefully soon. Though I feel like the rotation isn't doing that bad. I mean, it seems to be the defense and offense letting everybody down. Of course, when Rodriguez comes back to the rotation, who are you going to throw out of there? My opinion right now is Charlie Morton. Because he looks to be the worst starter to me. I don't want Povich to go down. Povich is looking pretty good, in my opinion. I mean, Sagano, he looks okay. I mean, he just starting his Major League Baseball career as a starting pitcher. You want to send him away? No. Zach Eflin is probably your best starting pitcher right now. You want to send him away? No. Dean Kramer. This is what? Dean Kramer or Charlie Morton? Or you go to a six-man rotation. I don't know. Tough decisions ahead. What do you do when Kyle Bradish comes back? What do you do when Tyler Wells comes back? That's why I don't understand why they went and got so many starting pitching. And really, Morton. Why'd you go get Charlie Morton? Yeah. You could have used the resources elsewhere. Outfielders. It seemed like your infield was shored up. Yeah, okay, nobody could predict that Kaiser would go down. And okay, you did get Carlson and Liriano, but yeah, it's hard decision time. It's not like it was 3-4 years ago where, yeah, you could tell who should be getting a boot. Now, with the progression some of these guys have done, yeah, it's hard decision time. Some of these guys should not be on the club moving forward because you want to be a World Series contender. Who's got to go? Tough decision. All right, let's wrap this up and get out of here. Hopefully, the Baltimore Orioles can turn it around. Continue on the road, headed to Arizona. I guess technically they're probably there already. They probably got there yesterday evening. Facing the Arizona Diamondbacks in Arizona for a 3-game set. Monday, today's game scheduled for 9:40 p.m. Tuesday's game scheduled for 9:40 p.m. Wednesday's game scheduled for 3:40 p.m. Get an off day Thursday. So while that will do it for this edition of Ryno's Orioles Report, please stay tuned for Thursday, and I will discuss the series between the Baltimore Orioles and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I am the Angry Ryno, and this is Birdland.